Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show. You'll never believe the discovery that I made today. I was on Spotify, and there's a little button. If you use Spotify, then you'll know. There's a little button, and you can choose if you want to play it through your phone or your AirPods, or if you're driving, you can play it in your car, or if you're near a speaker, you can play it with your speaker. It's just very quick and easy. You don't got to go to Bluetooth and do all that shit. It's very cool. So, well, I guess that's if it's on the Wi-Fi network, I believe. Or if it's near, I don't know how this shit works. But anyway, I noticed, and I'm doing it right now. I'm looking at it. I have two additional things right now. So I'm using my computer, and I'm playing music on my computer. And if I were to open up Spotify on my phone, which I will right now, it'll pop up and it'll say iPhone, right? Okay, there it is. Like you can see it. There's two more. One of them is new because it's the TV that we purchased. I don't know if I talked about it. Yeah, I did. No, I did. Yeah, we got a new TV. It's pretty cool. And I can connect to that and play music. I can play music from the TV, controlling it from my computer up here. And then there's a third one. And this third one, this is so funny to me. It's my goddamn thermostat that I can play music through. My thermostat. I can connect Spotify. This is so funny to me. I can connect Spotify to my thermostat and play music from my thermostat. And it's so funny how I found this out, because I'm clicking on the button and I see the TV, but I see the thing that says my Ecobee. That's my thermostat. And I'm like, oh, let's see what this does. So I click on it, and I'm playing some really slow focus music, so you can't really hear it, I guess. And I'm upstairs. The thermostat's downstairs. It's around a couple walls, and I didn't hear anything. I muted the music up here. I guess, you know what? That's why I didn't hear it, because I fucking muted it. That's so funny. Anyway, I couldn't hear anything, and I was like, yeah, of course I don't hear anything, because why would it play music through my thermostat? And I guess I clicked unmute. I played a different song. I played some, matter of fact, let me show you what I played, because it's worth mentioning, because it's such a good song. Here we go. Come on. All right, just don't play then. Let's try again. Try this one. Let's go to their page and then play it. I accidentally clicked pause on the recording, not the music. That's so funny. But yeah, that's what I played. And obviously I didn't play it that long before I made the realization, but I played it. It wasn't that song, but it may as well have been, because it's the same shit, and you wouldn't know what it is. It's this one. That's what it was. And I heard that from up here, and I just very audibly was like, ha! And I ran downstairs, and sure as shit, I'm playing music from my thermostat, dude. And I texted Lexi this. I think it's so funny. They were in a boardroom meeting. They were all sitting there around a big long table. And they said, hey, I got an idea. And they all look at the guy. And the guy says, listen, what if on your thermostat you could play music on your, and then he gets cut off, and the guy says, hey, excuse me, this is a thermostat, sir. And he says, yeah. But but what if you could play music from the thermostat? And that was an agreed upon decision in the boardroom when they were like, oh, yeah, he's on to something. Yeah, it's good. Okay. We'll ship them. And just like that, we have a Bluetooth speaker and a thermostat in one. There's just two things I never thought would mesh ever in my life. When I think of a thermostat, I think of a couple buttons, temperature high, low, and then a number that says what the degree is. That's all I think about. I don't think about jamming music. But that's actually extremely cool because having some little tunage going on downstairs and just have a speaker on 24/7, that's pretty damn cool. I like that. So anyway, 5 minutes into the show, and that's the topic of that's how we're celebrating the final day of year 2 of this podcast, because tomorrow technically is the start of year 3. And yeah, because my first ever show was on October 18th, 2023. And then I missed a day, or missed 2 days. And then I don't know what the fuck it was. I talked about it before. So happy last day of year 2. Pretty crazy we made it this far. Haven't missed a single day. I would have missed a day if it wasn't for Lexi. So it still stands. I have not missed a single day. I've recorded a show every single day. However, I know for a fact I would have missed a day if it weren't for Lexi. And I think that would have been, it was whenever we were in California. So that was 2 months ago. So 60 episodes minus. So it was around 670-ish. 660. I don't know. 66 times. Hopefully somebody got that out there. If not, then I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, we made it this far. It's pretty cool. And on to bigger and better things. I want to change the intro up every so often. I want to change up the music. I want to do recaps every so many episodes. I want to, but I just don't want to prioritize that. I don't want to plan for it. I don't want to have a night happen where it's like, oh man, I forgot I have to record a show. And then also that just so happens to be the same night where I got to do a 2-hour recap on the last 100 days of my life. You know what I mean? And of course I can plan for that. Of course, right? That's a responsible thing to do. But I think I really just enjoy having this podcast be really something I just click record on the voice memos, and then I talk, and then if it's shitty, and then it's shitty. If it's good, then it's good. I just upload it, and I'm good. I don't have to worry about it, and I never think about it again. I don't check the stats on the episode. I don't see how well it's performing. I don't give a fuck, and I don't think I really ever. And of course, I go in there and I look how many listens I'm getting, but I'm not like, oh man, I thought I killed that one. How come it's not getting so many views? How can I put? I don't advertise the show. I don't push for it. Ever since, let me actually go to my Instagram. The last time I ever made a post about this show on my social media was on downloads the other day. And just for documentation purposes, since it's not video, we're going to do some video. So here's the top listens. Where is the goddamn date for this? Doesn't even show me the date. 52 weeks ago, actually. That's so funny. Wait. So we just hit 3,000 downloads the other day. And just for documentation purposes, since it's not video, we're going to do some video. So here's the top listens. Okay, I don't know. It says 52 weeks ago. So I haven't made a post about my show. Let me actually pull this back up. For a full year. And before... God, shut the fuck up, Bryson. And then before that, it was August 8th, 2024. It's Kobe Day. Wow, on Kobe Day I did that. That's cool. And then... That's it. Oh, and then... Why can't I see the goddamn dates, dude? I don't know. Anyway, so I don't advertise the show. I don't post about it. Apparently Mina knew that I had one, and I totally forgot about that whole conversation because I was like, "Hey man, do you know I had a podcast? I talk about and you're on there all the time. Did you know that?" And he was like, "Yeah, you told me that." And I was like, "Right." So anyway, I don't advertise it. I don't talk about it in public. I'm not like, "Oh yeah, you should go look at my show." I don't promote. I don't do shit, which is crazy because I now have somebody who is on my team working alongside me. I hate saying that he works for me. There's something about that I just rubs me the wrong way. When I think of that sentence, he works for me. I don't know. I get it. It's fine. I'm sure people don't take it the wrong way. Like I work for Mina. I'm sure he's not like, "Oh yeah." For me, it's just like nobody works for me. They work for the vision and the mission that I have and that I want to, I guess, get closer to. They work in conjunction with me to help me achieve that. But in in doing so, they also achieve it. So they're working towards something they're working toward the mission we're working towards the same goal, the same mission. To a certain extent. Fuck it, man, he works for me. It's crazy because there's a guy that found this show, and he also happens to be so interested and actually very, very good and skilled and smart with all this shit. And I don't advertise the show. I don't talk about it. This is cool because he found me and the show and what I'm doing because he had a very similar mindset. So by me putting myself out there and recording a podcast every single day for the last 2 years and talking about what I'm doing, it attracted somehow some other person from some other country to be part of what I'm trying to build and create. If I wouldn't have been recording a show, I would have never ever met this guy. Never. Ever. I mean, he's on the complete opposite side of the world. There's no way we would have crossed paths. That's, but because I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Episode 1. What's going on, guys? It's recording a show. I'm shitting my pants." And now here we are almost on 730, which is 10% of the way done. Pretty crazy. Just never would have happened. So I just feel like the odds of that, if you actually did some kind of math on the odds on that, I'm sure it would be crazy. Nobody, I have the retention rate on here is probably like 5%, and 2% of that is my aunt and then my girlfriend. The other 3%, thank you so much. I don't know the actual figures, but it's so shit. So the fact that I don't know, it's unbelievable that somebody has stuck around and listened, and that just so happens to be somebody who wants to work toward the same thing that I'm working toward. But anyway, very cool. So, yeah, today, as far as work goes, I forgot I did this. So last night, I ended the night not having a solution to a problem, and I had to stop, which sucks. I hate going to bed when I've spent hours trying to figure out one problem. I finally fixed it, finally got it to work. And what's so goddamn frustrating is I have no idea why it wasn't working. I have no idea. But I got pretty creative. And what I did was I said to AI, here are the problems. Here's the errors. Here's what it's doing. Here's what it's not doing. Give me 20 solutions. And it did. It gave me 20 solutions. And I put each one in, just one after the other, after the other, after the other. And by, I don't know, it was like the 14th or something like that, it finally worked. And real quick before I forget, I was thinking about AI because there's a lot of talk that, when we're older and we're telling bedtime stories to our kids, or when we are doing anything, we're not going to think. We're just going to resort to AI and to ChatGPT and things like this so that we can get answers without having to think. We're going to lose all creativity. We're going to lose the human sustenance. Is that what it is? I don't know. We're going to use the human touch, the feel, everything. We're just going to be dull, thoughtless creatures, we're gonna revert back to artificial intelligence to really handle everything. And I don't know if I really agree. I think for some people, absolutely, but I feel like they were doomed to begin with. It's kind of like those kids in class that never listened, never paid attention, never studied, and they were always asking the person next to them what the answer was. That's probably those people, right? But I was thinking about the whole AI thing, and specifically in my case, even though I am not necessarily learning how to do the thing, because I'm resorting back to AI to do it for me. I'm like, hey, can you design a formula X, Y, Z, blah, 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 if then that, and with these special circumstances, yada, yada, yada. I'm sure I could learn that with time, but it does it so much faster. So I would rather have the speed rather than, I guess, the knowledge in this specific example. But I was thinking about it in the grand scheme of things. And I'm like, when I give it a prompt, that's me asking it a question. That's me saying, hey, that's me communicating my wants and my desires of it to give me something that I'm looking for, something I need, an answer, a formula, whatever. I'm communicating what I want to it in hopes that it will understand what I want and give me back an answer that I can use. And the quality of the response is in direct correlation with the quality of the question. And that probably is one of the deepest quotes I've ever said on this podcast. But when you give it a very thorough prompt and then it still doesn't give you what you want, you have to really think about how to ask it differently. And I think there is a lot of learning and a lot of brain power that goes into just trying to think of different ways to ask the same question or clarify whatever you're trying to ask or trying to get AI to do, so that it will do it and it'll do it exactly how you want. Because I can say, draw me a picture of a house with a dog, but it might draw the house really tiny, really shitty. The dog might be a Great Dane. Maybe I was thinking of a Chihuahua. Maybe there's 25 trees around it. Can't even see the house. So then you have to get more specific. Like, hey, I want a house that's nice and clean, blah, blah, blah. No trees around it. There's a dog, blah, blah, blah. And this is obviously, I'm talking about AI and, prompts and stuff. But I guess just what a good parallel to the rest of your entire life. Ask good questions and you'll get good answers. The greater the questions that you ask, the more thorough, more closely related response or answer or whatever you're going to get in relation to the thing that you actually wanted from the start. And I don't even know how I thought about that, but it just came to my mind and I'm like, dude, this is actually so great that in some sense, it's fantastic that AI fucking sucks and blows ass sometimes, because it makes me so frustrated. It makes me sit there and I'm like, okay, how the fuck do you not understand what I'm saying? What starts off as like, hey, if this says paid in full, then return the date. And then it doesn't. And I'm like, okay, wait. If the property package if the property called package says PIF, which stands for paid in full, then grab the payment date property that is called payment date, return that date in this cell. And then if it still doesn't, it's like, I've got 27 properties. One of them is known as package. Do you see it? And it's one of those things. And yeah, I just think there's a lot of value that you can get from AI, for sure. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of value in the trial and error of trying to get it to do what you want. And I just think that's really cool. So just wanted to share that. But yeah, pretty cool that I discovered the solution this morning for this goddamn problem. Fixed it, and then I went on to organize a little bit more. And then I actually went to the gym earlier in the day, and I liked that a lot, actually. I might shift my gym schedule. I don't know. I really have no idea. But and then I actually made another discovery inside of Notion on how to make things just so much greater than I thought I could. And I'm glad that I'm catching this now, because I will definitely be putting this into the next version, or I guess the current version of everything that I'm building. And it is so simple. It is so simple and yet so powerful. And I can't believe I'm just now learning this. I feel like I've seen this in other people's designs and templates, but I'm like, oh no, I don't want that. But little did I know, this is exactly what I needed. And I'm looking at it right now, and it looks clean as fuck. It looks so nice. And how this started actually was I wanted to build a little custom workspace for me to track my life inside of Notion, because I spend all my time in it, and I would love to be able to just track my life inside of it. Now, this is going to be a ginormous project, and I don't think this is going to be done anytime soon. I don't think it'll even be done this year. I'm not going to allocate as much time as I should, or I shouldn't allocate much, if any, time to it at all right now. But I spent a good chunk of time today kind of setting up the foundation, and I guess of one sector, which was just tracking how many hours I work. And I went overboard with it, and now I've got multiple databases that have so many things that I track. It's very cool. And I wanted to be able to put this on my iPad and then just always have this pulled up when I use my iPad. So because I actually designed the whole interface so that I can use my right hand and use my thumb while holding my iPad. So it's on one of those cases that stands it up kind of at a diagonal, one of those things that folds into a triangle on the back. And I want to be able to put my fingers on the back and then use my thumb to click the only two buttons that I need to click. Because I put everything on the left, because that's usually how things are, but I put it all on the right. What's up? And that's my little brother. What's up, dude? And anyway, there's a clock in button and a clock out button, begin and finish. I don't want to associate my work with clocking in and clocking out. It's just like I begin and I finish, Sounds gay. So I have the green button, and it's cool because when I click it, it pops up with an image. And then under the image, it says currently working. And the image can be whatever I want it to be. It could even be an animated GIF. It could be whatever. And I'm definitely going to put in reminders or anything like that for myself, or might even put my logo or something like that, or just a little reminder of, work hard. I don't know. And so anyway, I click on that, and then it says currently working. So right now I have started a shift. I am working right now, which is really cool. So there's a back end timer going. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening right now. Very cool. Okay. Now, when I go to finish my shift, it's not for the day. It's just for the little stint of time that I'm working. So for example, if I were to go down and eat dinner right now, okay, I guess I broke the whole goddamn thing. Go back. So annoying, dude. What's going on? LifeOS. There we go. Fuck sakes, man. So let's say I go downstairs to eat dinner, which I am probably going to. I'm going to click finish. I click finish, and then it submits my time and simultaneously opens up a form, and it's called LifeOS, Life Operating System, which this is going to be for work, but whatever. So we have there's nothing I type. It's all click because it's faster. It's more efficient that way. I have something that says productivity, focus, desire, distracted, stress, difficulty, tasks, and shift rating. And they're all, it's like I'm taking a goddamn survey. So productivity, excellent, good, okay, bad, horrible. I'm going to rate it good. Focus, excellent, good, okay, bad, horrible. I'm going to rate it good. Desire, very high, high, low, very low, hate. Like the task at hand. This was all regarding the shift and the work that I did during the shift. So how productive was I? How focused was I? How desirable were the tasks at hand? So if I hated it, I'd put hate. How distracted was I? Some. How stressed was I? None. How difficult was this? High. Tasks. Now, these are check boxes, and I just select what I worked on. So we have customer service, mind mapping, team support, Neato video, Zoom call, sale call, networking, podcasting, debugging, building, writing, DMs. So I select as many of those that pertain to the shift, and then I shift rating, excellent, good, okay, bad, horrible. So I'm going to say this is a good shift. And I click complete. Now that I'm done here, that submits into the same thing that I just submitted, or the same shift that I just ended. So then I can go down and I can see on the, wait. Oh, I fucked around with the dates. That's right. So today's the 17th. I don't even know. When did I do this at? 7:58. So it's this one. Okay, so I can see that I clocked in at 7:58. I clocked out at 7:59. That means I worked 1 minute. And then I can see all my productivity ratings and things like that, which I guess I'll have to go through and fix those because they did not submit. It's fine. But I have all the ratings. So when I say, excellent, that's a 5. When I say horrible, that's a 1. For the opposite, when I say if something was difficult, or if I was stressed, I would say a 5, because this is a number scale. I want the highest number would mean the greatest day. 5 for stress would be none, rather than very high. You know what I mean? And then we have all the tasks that I selected, and then they're here. And then we have the score. So the score is based on how many points I got. So there's 7 ratings. There's 5 total points for each rating. So that's 35 for a score. So I take the sum of all the ratings, I divide it by 35, and that's my score for the shift, not for the day. So if I did this 3 times one day, I'd have 3 different scores, but that's averaged, and I'll talk about that in a sec. And I'm actually really curious as to why that didn't work. Let's see. So we'll go to the form. Where's the form? Why didn't this work? Yeah, I'll figure it out. I really want to know why it didn't work, though. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. So anyway, I got these different pages that are in a grid with photos, which look nice. I click on it, and I can see my hour trends. So I can see how many hours I've worked per day, every day for the last infinity. And I can also filter by week, so I can see the hours per week that I work. I think this is actually capped, so I'm going to remove that cap. I actually am going, I don't know. Something about me just wants to work 100-hour work weeks. I just would love to be able to say that I did that. I don't know. I would love to. If I can, I will 100%. And we have it filtered by month as well. This is all on my iPad, by the way. So I'm just looking at my hands, and it's pretty nice, actually. And then we have another one. It's called Day of the Month Stats. So goddamn detailed, but I can see the total amount of hours that I've worked on every day of the month. So over the course of a year, there's going to be 12 firsts. There's going to be 12 seconds. There's going to be 12 27ths. There's going to be 12 28ths. There's going to be 11 29ths. There's going to be 6 30ths, and there's going to be 6 31sts, I think is what it is. No, that's not how it works. 5 30ths, 6 31st. I don't know, whatever it is. And I don't know, truthfully, why I might need to know that, but I think that's interesting to see if there's any trends, to see if I push harder towards the end of the month, or if I push harder towards the beginning of the month, or if in the middle of the month I start working more. I told Karin today I would like to, or actually I put it in a document, I don't know if he's read it. I would like to, hold on, did Lexi just get home? No. Someone's home, and it's not Lexi, so excellent. But I did say that I'd like to push for an entirely new version. Not new as in like brand new from scratch, but updated, ready to go, polished off, and can be sold. Because I I want to keep on pushing for the best product we can. I don't know how we're going to update it and give it to people who have already purchased. I have no idea, but we'll figure that out. But with that thought in mind, what if I actually do notice that I start working a shit ton more towards the end of the month, because I want to get things, because there's a deadline, Will I see deadlines? Like if there's deadline in my work, I'll be able to see that. You know what I mean? I guess the deadline would have to be recurring, but whatever. Then we have weekday stats, and I can see how many hours I worked every single day or every weekday total. So I can see which days of the week I work the most. I can see the average amount of hours that I work per day of the week. And then I can see the total amount of hours that I work on the weekdays versus the weekends. So just little stats there. And then we've got all the ratings. So all the different things that I already mentioned with the productivity, the focus, the distractedness, stress, all that stuff, there is a rating, a daily, a weekly, and a monthly rating of that as well. So I can see over the course of time, as it relates to work, how distracted I've been, how productive I've been, how stressed I've been, how difficult the tasks have been, things like that. And I can see trends of that over time. And that pretty much sums it up. So when I click the green button, I'm actually going to try this again. I want to know why it doesn't work. When I click the green button and then I click the red button and then I fill out the form, whatever. Work harder. Oh, I wonder if it just didn't update yet and this thing's just being slow as shit. I guarantee you that's what happened. I guarantee you that's what happened. Okay, I want to go check real quick. Wait, where is it at? 17th. Oh, I fucking knew it. I'm so smart, dude. Knew it. But yeah, when I do that, there's a recent shifts little log thing that just shows me within the last 7 days all the shifts that I worked. So I can just see a quick glimpse of, I've been running on, it seems like my average shift length is maybe, 6 hours and I work 2 of those a day. I don't know. So this is going to be a massive project. I want to take my shit very serious, and I don't know if this is the podcast episode to talk about it, but I do this thing, and I've done it twice now, where I will download a game like chess, or recently it was RuneScape, or I don't know, like a year ago it was Minecraft, and I will play the shit out of them for a sec, and then come to the realization that I am playing the shit out of them, and I shouldn't play the shit out of them, and that I have big goals, and I'm not going to achieve those big goals as soon as I'd like if I keep these distractions in my life. And it sounds so dumb, like on the outside it's completely obvious, but I actually uninstalled everything from my computer. I uninstalled everything. I deleted all the apps from my iPad, and I think there's actually a few on the phone I need to get rid of. But I just had this, I don't know, this thought, this realization that, I don't know, maybe it was a little reality check that just happened for me, but I was like, Trey could let me go. Amina could say, hey man, thank you so much. We got this other guy, he's going to do this. Sorry. That could happen tomorrow. And then I'd have to go get another job, and that's fine. But like is the cycle just gonna repeat? Am I just going to stay this extremely ambitious individual and never have anything to show for it? I don't want that. I do not want that. And so maybe it was just a little reality check. Maybe it was this realization. I don't know. But I was just like, okay, I have to take this serious. And to Dan Martell's point, one of the guys I was listening to on his podcast, you just have to go pro. You just have to turn pro. And what that means is just taking your shit serious, being relentless with your work, and really prioritizing everything you're doing, with your business and your career and things like that. So I think I subconsciously decided to do that. And it's much easier to focus without distractions. Who would have thought, you know? I didn't just like choose not to play anything. I cannot play anything because I don't have anything to play, you know? And I think some of these games are so fun, and they're just so, I get so engulfed in them because they're games that I never beat, and I don't know if you can beat them. There's so much to them. They're so deep. There's so many different things you could do. And I think maybe the inner child in me wants to achieve that, because when I was a little kid and I got introduced to a lot of these games, it was crazy to see, you know, people with maxed out characters, and they had all this and they had all that. And it's just like, holy fuck, dude. I would love to. And it's just fun to go through and grind out the different skills and the quests and get all the items and, you know, check off all the boxes and get all the cool stuff. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, do I want to have a maxed out character in a video game with all the cool stuff and make my little childhood self proud, scratch that itch? Or do I want to have a life full of financial abundance, successful career? I'm able to retire my whole family. I'm able to drive any supercar. I'm able to travel the world and meet with whoever I desire. I'm on podcasts here and there. I'm a blah, 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 blah. Like, which one would I rather have? And if I'm being honest, part of me was like, well, dude, I fucking love this game. Kind of want to just play the game. That's true. That's a genuine. I take a lot of joy in these things, but even though that there is a slight, 3% consideration in that route, I'm not going to take it. So there's no worries there. How shitty would this podcast be if I was like, what's up, guys? I'm going to pursue video games and just max out my characters. All right, peace. What would that'd just be so silly. So it shouldn't be a surprise, but I'm not going to. So no worries there. But yeah, and what's interesting is I kind of flipped the switch, and I do feel like I just kind of see things. I mean, I ran fucking 4 miles the other day. I didn't run all 4 miles, probably walked. You know what? I probably ran 3.5 total. Probably walked a half because it was walking slow as shit. But yeah, anyway, I got a text from Lexi. Oh, she said she's bummed. I love you, babe. I got to record the show. I'll respond in just a sec. Yeah, I don't know if it was a switch that flipped or whatever, but I ran the furthest I've ever ran in my entire life after not really training for it or whatever, I'm definitely going to the gym a lot more than I have been. I would say that I'm very focused on what I'm working on, and it's kind of crystal clear on what I'm doing. I feel a sense of leadership to lead and make sure that this product gets designed and delivered and marketed the correct way so that I can provide a stable income for not only myself, but Karin as well. And, I don't know. In some sense, I do feel like the man of the house. I do feel like I just feel like I need to level up in all areas. And I feel like I'm not going to be doing that with distractions here and distractions there. I don't know. I hate the thought that it's like one thing or the other. Like you can't dabble in both. You can absolutely dabble in both. If Elon Musk can be where he's at in the world today and also play Diablo and be ranked one of the highest in the world in Diablo, I sure as shit can do that as well. But he's also Elon Musk, and he's also been doing what he's doing for, 30, 40 years now. I'm sure he's earned some time and some badges and some awards, figuratively speaking, to allow himself to go and play Diablo for a little bit. He's got like 12 kids, 12 businesses. I don't know. He's in politics, shakes hands with Trump, crazy, you know, and he's playing Diablo. I in the future, for sure, probably going to game a lot. I find immense joy in it. It is a lot of fun. And in the future, when I could afford to just dick off for an evening, a whole evening, I mean, dude, I can't, it's fine. It's doable. But like, I don't want to play a video game that I really like if I can only play it for like 30 minutes a day. What the fuck is that? I want to play it for like 8 straight uninterrupted hours. That's what I want to do. What am I supposed to do in 30 minutes? A fourth of a quest? Am I supposed to go kill 3 dragons? What am I supposed to do? If I'm playing Minecraft, what am I doing in 30 minutes in Minecraft? Walking 100 blocks to chop 5 trees? You ain't doing shit in 30 minutes, dude. You got to play it for 10 hours. And it's, I guess, contrary to what the rest of the world will say, but fuck, dude. Trying to play a game and have a good time. Which is so funny because what am I going to tell my kids, you know? Because I'm like, dude, little man, I get it, but we got to go outside and throw a ball or some shit, bro. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know, something, I don't know, I guess something just flipped a switch, you know, and I'm just, I just want to make this shit happen, and I'm sick of having it not happen, you know? Something that actually recently happened that may have played into this, now that I think about it, is I was talking with Lexi's dad. I was talking to him to get permission to marry her, actually. And it's fine because he probably doesn't know anything about what I'm doing, and it doesn't matter. But what he said was, do you guys plan on moving back to California? And I was like, truthfully, I don't want to, based on the current state of California and the politics and shit. If it was like we move today or we never move at all, we would never move at all, and that would be the easiest decision because it's a shit show. And objectively speaking, it is. And I was like, well, I mean, unless they can get their stuff together, probably not. And he's like, oh yeah, you guys can't afford to live there. And he didn't say it like in a condescending or mean way or anything like that. It was just like, oh, like the way he said it was like, oh yeah, it's expensive. Like you guys can't afford that. You guys couldn't afford that right now. And again, there's no ill will. It was fine. But that's what he said. And my first thought was like, motherfucker, what if I was making, $15,000 a night? Think I can't afford that? Huh? That's just what goes through my head. And I just want to make a shit ton of money. I want to do very cool things. I want to build a successful business. I want to hop on the phone with somebody and show them the product and they say, cool, here's 10 grand. I want to secure the fucking bag, dude. I want to. And I'm not going to do that with all these distractions, and I'm not going to do that just playing it cool and just, kind of dicking off here. And I'm going to do it by going all in, and in all areas, So we'll come back around to the video games and shit like that after I make $1 million. We'll go from there. All right. So anyway, with that being said, I don't think I have much else to say. So I'm gonna end the show there. More to come for sure. Very close to finishing this project. And that's it. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.